a WikiVidi documentaries production. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Enjoy. Mortal Engines. Mortal Engines is the first of 4 novels in Philip Reeve's quartet of the same name. The book focuses on a futuristic, steampunk version of London. Now a giant machine striving to survive on a world running out of resources. The book has won a Nestlé Smarties Book Prize and was shortlisted for the 2002 Whitbread Award. Concept. The book is set in a post-apocalyptic world, ravaged by a 60-minute war, which caused massive geological upheaval. To escape the earthquakes, volcanoes, and other instabilities, a nomad leader called Nicola Quercus installed huge engines and wheels on London, and enabled it to dismantle other cities for resources. The technology rapidly spread and evolved into what is known as municipal Darwinism. Although the planet has since become stable, municipal Darwinism has spread to most of the world except for Asia and parts of Africa. Much technological and scientific knowledge was lost during the war. Because scientific progress has almost completely halted, old tech is highly prized and recovered by scavengers and archaeologists. Europe, some of Asia, North Africa, Antarctica, and the Arctic are dominated by traction cities, whereas North America was so ravaged by the war that it is often identified as the Dead Continent. And the rest of the world is the stronghold of the Anti-Traction League, which seeks to keep cities from moving and thus stop the intense consumption of the planet's remaining resources. London. London is the principal traction city in the novel, which has returned to a Victorian-era society. London's society is divided into 4 major and a number of minor guilds. The engineers are responsible for maintaining the machines necessary for the survival of London, many of which are found by the Guild of Historians. The historians are in charge of collecting and preserving highly prized, often dangerous artifacts. The navigators are responsible for steering and plotting the course of London. The merchants are in charge of running London's economy. London is officially ruled by an elected mayor. The Lord Mayor is Magnus Crome, who is also the head of the Guild of Engineers. Like most traction cities, London is built on a series of tiers. This encourages the system of social classes, with the wealthier nobles at the top of the city and the lower classes further down, closer to the noise and pollution of the city's massive engines. Atop the whole of London sits St. Paul's Cathedral, the only building known to have survived the 60-minute war. Part 1. The book starts with the traction city of London chasing and catching a small mining town called Salthook. Tom Natsworthy, a teenage apprentice historian, is sent to the gut of London, where towns are stripped for resources, after he skips a chore. Tom incidentally meets the head of the Guild of Historians, Thaddeus Valentine, along with his daughter, Catherine, one of Salthook's citizens. Teenager Hester Shaw attempts to assassinate Valentine, but Tom interferes and chases her. She reveals a disfiguring scar on her face and claims Valentine caused it, before escaping the London police through a chute. When Tom informs Valentine of her name, the historian pushes him down into the chute. Tom and Hester recover outside of London within the hunting ground, and after an argument start following the city's tracks to reboard it. The pair eventually board a small town called Speedwell, where the owner Orm Rayland attempts to harm them and schemes to sell the pair as slaves for profit at a trading cluster. Tom and Hester manage to escape from Rayland, meeting a friendly airship pilot called Anna Fang, who takes them in her airship the Jenny Hanover to the neutral flying city of Airhaven, where they can find passage to London. At Airhaven, they are then attacked by a semi-robotic stalker called Shrike, who was sent after them by the London Mayor Magnus Crome to kill them and bring their bodies to him. Tom and Hester escape by stealing a hot air balloon and drift over the hunting ground. Hester reveals that she knows Shrike, who took care of her after her parents were killed by Valentine as they would not give up an ancient machine. Valentine then scarred her and believed that she was dead. Escaping, she was taken care of by Shrike for most of her childhood. Despite the fact that Shrike was not supposed to have feelings, he developed a father-like bond with her, wanting to avenge her parents. Hester left Shrike despite his pleas for her to stay and travelled to London. Shrike followed her, reaching London first, but was captured by Chrome and used to create more stalkers for London. Hester sees that a London-built scout ship is following them and lowers the balloon onto the hunting ground. The scout ship, piloted by Shrike, finds the pair and the stalker confronts them. Before Shrike can explain why he wants Hester to die, two chasing towns run over him, whilst the pair manage to board the second, a pirate town called Tunbridge Wells. The mayor, Chrysler Peavy, who knows Hester from her days with Shrike, frees Tom as he is a resident of London and Peavy wishes to learn etiquette worthy of a Londoner gentleman. Tom convinces him to free Hester, and Peavy informs them that he plans to consume the downed air haven. While charging at it, Tunbridge Wells gets clawed open by rocks, sinking it whilst the survivors escape inland with Tom and Hester. Whilst attempting to feebly retake Air Haven, Peavy sinks in a bog before his pirate subordinates shoot him, then attempt to execute Tom and Hester, but Shrike intervenes and kills them. Shrike explains to Hester that Chrome had agreed to resurrect Hester as a stalker similar to him after he brings back her body. She agrees to this. However, Tom intervenes by stabbing Shrike in the chest, shutting him down, and saving her life. Valentine is sent away by Chrome on a secret mission, much to Catherine's dismay. Suspicious of her father, Catherine begins investigating events in London with the help of apprentice engineer Beavis Pod, whom she befriends after discovering he witnessed Tom chasing Hester. They discover that Valentine salvaged a monstrous ancient weapon called Medusa for London, and that the Guild of Engineers have reassembled it inside St. Paul's Cathedral. The cathedral's dome splits open to reveal the weapon, which is then used to destroy a much larger city pursuing London. Part 2. Tom and Hester are rescued by Fang, who is revealed to be an Anti-Traction League agent, and takes them to the shield wall of Batmunk which protects the nation-state of the League. Fang suspects that the weapon London has will be used to destroy the shield wall, and warns League Governor Khan of Medusa. Khan is skeptical that London will attack, but Fang insists that they should bomb London to destroy the weapon. Convinced that the League will kill innocent people and angry at the idea of destroying his home, Tom storms out and discovers Valentine has infiltrated Batmunk as a monk. Tom raises the alarm, but Valentine successfully cripples the League's entire fleet of airships. Valentine duels and kills Fang by stabbing her in the neck, before escaping in his own airship, the 13th floor elevator. Tom and Hester take the Jenny Hanover and fly it back to London in the hope of stopping Valentine and Medusa themselves. With Medusa finally launched, Chrome begins guiding London east towards the Anti-Traction League's base behind the shield wall of Batmunk to destroy their defences and devour all of their settlements. Catherine learns from Valentine after he returns that Medusa was originally found by Hester's mother Pandora, and that he had killed her to steal it for London. He also admits that Catherine was likely Hester's half-sister. Disillusioned and horrified by the destructive power of the weapon, Catherine and Beavis conspire to plant a bomb on Medusa to try and stop it from being used, but are caught in their attempt. Fortunately, the Guild of Historians, led by Tom's boss Chudley Pomeroy, come to their aid and battle with the engineers. Catherine travels up to the top tier to St. Paul's Cathedral, with Beavis disguised as her captor. Tom and Hester arrive, and the latter attempts to fight her way to Valentine to avenge her parents. Tom is attacked by the 13th floor elevator above London and shoots it down. Beavis is killed when the airship crushes him, but Catherine is able to reach St. Paul's Cathedral. Inside, she sees Hester brought before Valentine. When he attempts to kill her, Catherine jumps in her father's way and is fatally wounded. She falls onto a keyboard, interrupting the firing sequence of Medusa, and causing it to malfunction. Valentine and Hester, briefly putting aside their differences, try to take Catherine to Tom to get help, but she dies before they can. Hester leaves with Tom in the airship, while Valentine chooses to stay behind in London. Medusa finally misfires, obliterating most of the city and killing Valentine. Hester tries to comfort a grief-stricken Tom as they fly away in the Jenny Hanover, apparently the only survivors of the incident, and make their way to the Bird Roads. Development. Philip Reeve has stated that his plans to write a science fiction novel were laid in the late 1980s. The original drafts were intended to be an adult novel. But after several rejections, Scholastic said they might be interested in Mortal Engines as a children's story. In the refactoring, the story was simplified, removing several characters and much content Reeve thought would not be interesting to children. The Mortal Engines world was originally written as an alternate universe set in the early 1900s. But Reeve says this turned out to require just too much explaining as how and where history could have diverged. Sequels and prequels. Mortal Engines was followed by 3 sequels, Predator's Gold, Infernal Devices, and A Darkling Plane, which together form the Mortal Engines quartet. This was followed by the Fever Crumb prequel series, Fever Crumb, A Web of Air, and Scrivener's Moon, which depict events many years prior to those of Mortal Engines. Film adaptation. A film adaptation by Peter Jackson was announced in 2009. In October 2016, Jackson announced that the film would be his next project as producer and co-writer, alongside Fran Walsh and Philippa Boyens. The script will be directed by Jackson's longtime collaborator Christian Rivers. The film is due to be released on the 14th of December 2018. Brought to you by WikiVidi Documentaries. Would you like to know more?